And we're live.
Oh, hi everyone. We're just arguing here at the moment on what the names of the teams are here in the church. Don't know what they are. Anyway, we've got some beautiful Perrier Jouet poured. Everyone's got their glasses poured. We're ready to be serious and talk about champagne. And
Champagne.
Drink champagne.
Oh, I think my...
Yeah, what the hell? We're also going to get Andrew to show you how to properly open up a champagne bottle.
We'll need to finish this one first.
Yeah.
But I'm sure we'll do that in short order.
So here's cheers to tonight's event.
Episode 10.
Cheers, everyone. And a early Merry Christmas. And Dan, I hope that COVID and the restrictions aren't that bad in London. I hope you've got something to drink tonight. So what's on the agenda tonight? What are we doing?
So tonight is all about double figures and double bottles. So tonight is our champagne trivia Magnum edition. There will be an opportunity after the first round of questions to answer a question and potentially win a Magnum of Pierre Jumenet champagne. Very exciting. We will be doing 2 rounds of trivia this evening. Round number 1 will be wine-based questions. Round number 2 will be general knowledge. So if you are playing along at home, grab out a pen and paper, organize your teams if there's a few of you there. A couple of house rules. We're going to trust you on this one, but please, no Googling. It's no fun if you just look up the answers. We will be collecting scores at the end, so I think there will be a couple of little bonus prizes for the first team to submit their score.
Yep.
And what's the other bonus prize, Jack?
A t-shirt and a wine night.
For what?
What? A wet t-shirt?
So there'll be a lucky prize. So if you submit your score, you go into the draw to win a wine night.
Yes, so the first person to submit their score at the end will win a prize, and there will be a lucky draw as well.
Yep.
And in the middle, there will be a single question for the Magnum of Pierre Jumenet.
So as a disclaimer, we can't post champagne overseas. Sorry,
Sorry,
Dan. But we can send, if you win, Dan, we can send your wine to your dad in Brisbane. Yeah. Is there anything else that we need to talk about?
No, I don't think so.
All right, because I'm sort of hungry and I think I'm not doing the first round. I'm not giving the first round questions.
I'll read the first round out.
Yeah.
You can relax and gorge on.
So apparently I get to do the sports questions and all that sort of stuff, you know, because I'm such a sporting sporting person. So I get to sit down and eat. Kay has organised this beautiful tasting platter behind us. And yeah, I'm just going to eat and drink. I think that's what tonight's all about. See you soon.
Okay, let us begin. Champagne trivia party. So as we mentioned, there will be 2 rounds of 10 questions. Wine questions in the first round, general knowledge questions in the second round. In between the 2 rounds will be the bonus question with the chance to win a Magnum of Champagne Pierre Jumenet. And the prize will go to the first person to message the correct answer to us on Instagram at WIneCult. So you need to make sure by the time we get to question number 10 that you have someone's phone out with Instagram open and us ready to send a message, because it's all about first in, first served. Round number 1, wine trivia. So the first question, the earliest known evidence to date of grape wine was found in which modern day country?
Of grape wine? Okay, grape wine. We know this. We can do this. What did you say? You know it. Yeah. My team is so going to win, Andrew.
I don't know, Jack wrote these questions. There's a couple of curveballs in there. Question number 2. What is Méthode Champenoise also known as, particularly outside of the Champagne region?
Can you just tell people to write on the piece of paper?
Just for clarification, I can see Dan asking about answers. Please do not answer in the chat. The idea is not to tell everyone else the answer. Keep track of your own answers, and we will trust you to tally up your own score at the end. Question 3. What common process are the compounds bentonite, albumin, or isinglass used for in winemaking?
Now, did you realise, Andrew, that isinglass is made out of the the floating bladder of a fresh fish?
I did know that.
Fish. And so isinglass is not only used in wine, but it's also used in beer production, and I'm sure a lot of other things as well. So very fishy.
Anytime you want to make something look clean and bright. Question 4. In what country would you find the Tokay region?
Are you sure it's Tokay and not Tokaj?
The Tokaj?
Yeah. I mean, it's got a J in it.
Yeah, I feel like they wouldn't say it that way in this particular part of the world. Question 5. The Burgundy region of France is most famously home to which well-known red grape variety?
So did you realise that Robert, if he drinks this red grape variety from, and if it's grown from from the Margaret River, he gets a migraine. He gets a migraine from drinking this variety if it's grown in WA. And that's a really weird thing, because it goes to show you that, a grapevine is like sucking up all the energy, all the nutrients out of the soil. It's producing all these grapes, and they are they've got all this really weird sort of chemicals in this grape.
We only have 1 minute per question, so you've got to keep your factoids shorter.
Oh my God.
Question number 6. As at December 2019, to the nearest dollar, what is the average export price of bottled wine out of Australia? And this is the price per bottle. So how many dollars per bottle, on average, is Australian wine exported for?
Is this still... Where to? Just
The
to
world.
all over the world?
Out of Australia.
Oh, okay. Not like China.
It would include China.
All right.
I don't think we export to China anymore.
Question 7. Currently, to the nearest 1,000, approximately how many growers are there in the Champagne region of France? It's going to be higher than you think because of the idea of Napoleonic succession. All the vineyards get carved up and carved up and carved up. So there's a lot of fragmented vineyards.
Good.
So whatever you reckon, go higher. I saw your clue to our team. You're way off. It's a lot more than that.
Okay. Go double, team. Go double.
It's more than 2,000.
Question 8. Tribidrag is genetically equivalent to what better known grape variety? And I will actually accept one of two answers here. There are two grape varieties that are genetically equivalent to Tribidrag.
It sounds like a rapper's name. Tribidrag, drag. Tribidrag, drag.
You can't see me on video, but the look I'm giving Glenn right now could wither flowers.
That's what I reckon. Okay, come on.
Question the 9th. Accounting for more than 3/4 of the world's planting, Malbec is the number 1 exported variety of which country? You know they're on my team, right?
Yeah, but apparently they don't need any help. So that's Are you googling?
No, I'm getting my Instagram ready.
Oh, okay.
Well, we are at question 9, so the Instagram moment will be coming up very, very, very shortly. One more trivia question to go. And that question is number 10. By volume, which 3 countries make up roughly 50% of the world's wine production?
Is that worth 3 points, Andy?
It's not worth 3 points. These countries are known as the Big Three, and the 3 of them routinely swap year by year for which country is the largest wine producing country in the world. But the 3 of them are leagues ahead of everyone else, and together they make up half of the world's wine. I don't think you should have to think too hard about this. 2 of them are really obvious. The other one, it is if you know.
What? Australia.
It's not Australia. So, in case you missed any, we will do a very quick recap. Question 1. The earliest evidence of grape wine is from which country? Number 2. What else is méthode champenoise also known as? 3. What common processes are bentonite, albumin, and isinglass used for? Number 4. Where in the world would you find the Tokai region? Number 5. Burgundy is home to which famous red grape variety? 6. As at December 19, what was the average price per bottle of wine exported from Australia? Number 7. To the nearest 1,000, how many growers are there in Champagne? What other names does Tribidrag go by? What country exports Malbec and accounts for 2/3 of the world's planting? 3/4 of the world's plantings. And finally, which 3 countries produce half of the wine in the world? And here it comes, the bonus question.
Okay, so the bonus question is all about winning the big bottle of champagne.
Do we have it here?
The Magnum. Jack, why don't we have the champagne here?
Because it's in temperature-controlled storage, where it should be.
Oh, okay. So bear in mind that this champagne, the bottle is bigger than my head. All right. It's definitely bigger than a Hans head.
Well, there's a photo of it at least.
Oh, okay. That doesn't really do justice, though, does it?
Yeah, it really doesn't.
It's like,
It's much bigger in real life.
yeah, okay. Just think that word champagne is as big as a person's forehead. Okay.
Depends on the person.
Well, yeah, not a baby, like a normal person.
So hopefully you all have your phones out and you all have the message window open to the Wine Cult. And hopefully you have followed us on Instagram if you don't already while you're there. So,
Are you ready?
here it comes.
Bam bom, bam bom,
The
bam
question.
bom. Okay, this is for the Magnum, right?
This is the one question you need to
One-
answer right now on Instagram to win a Magnum of champagne.
Okay, and so the great thing about Instagram is that it's all time dated. It's all legit. Are you ready, Jack? Are you ready to get this answer?
Ahan can barely stand the pressure.
Okay, let's go. What's the question?
The
Go.
question is, which champagne house is widely credited as inventing/popularizing the technique known as riddling, aka in French, remoage?
I'm not even going to give you a hint.
Jack,
Jack,
do
have we
any
got a-
answer?
No answer yet. Oh, okay. Keep going. Come on. Who's gonna be first? Who's got the fastest internet?
There is about a 20-second lag, so they
Oh
hear it
my
20 seconds
God.
after we say it.
Okay. Oh my God, come on.
So we have visited this champagne house.
We
and
have
had a
visited
most
it.
amazing time there, and we've heard the story firsthand
We have.
of how this particular person, and it was a particular person,
That's right.
revolutionized the entire industry of champagne by inventing this process to make beautiful, clear champagne without sediment.
Indeed, and it was a woman.
Oh, you
There's
might
a-
be giving things away.
There's
there.
a hint. There's a hint. Well, the nice thing about the Arias last night, the Australian Music Awards, was that they paid homage to Helen Reddy. And there were all these women singing, "I am woman, hear me roar." And this woman, this person who invented this process, was quite an amazing feminist.
Yes, she certainly stepped up and took over a family dynasty after, I'm not sure if I'm giving something away here, but after her husband died.
Well, there
And
are
it was not expected that she would do that. It was expected that she would demurely disappear into the background and let one of the brothers or sons run the business, but she didn't. She stepped up, she took the reins, and she not only invented riddling, but she also created the champenois method of making rosé.
Bum, bum. That's a hint. There are lots of widows in the history of
And a few
champagne.
mentioned on wine labels too.
Indeed.
Jack, has anyone managed to get it right yet?
Yeah, I think we have a winner. But
And-
we'll announce them. We'll look at the official times and announce them tomorrow.
Okay. Oh no!
It sounds like it might be a bit of a photo finish.
D-
It appears that we have a winner, but Jack is not quite ready to reveal that yet. It will be announced along with the other two prizes.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
So
Stay tuned.
how excitement. I'm almost finished with my champagne. We
I
had
am finished.
We had a beautiful bottle of Perrier Jouet.
What are we drinking next?
I think we're drinking some Tatange, but the Perrier Jouet. Ooh, wrong. That the headquarters is on the Avenue de Champagne in Épernay, and it is very famous for its Art Deco artwork. And so, let's see if you can see it. So it's all about the flowers. It's all about the leaves. It's I don't know. If I were to be sexist, I would dare say that it would be a very feminine type of champagne, in the way that the graphics look very floral and very beautiful and very sort of like feminine and gorgeous. But Andrew is about to open up a bottle of Tataché. Andrew, can you open up that bottle and show us how to open a bottle properly?
I can. While I'm getting the bottle, do you want to spill the beans on the answer to our bonus question?
Well, the answer to our bonus question is Madame Kiliko. What was her first name?
I don't know what her first name
What was her name? Yeah. Oh, actually, if you get her first name, then that would be pretty cool.
Bonus points?
Bonus points, maybe. Indeed.
So, the champagne house and also the name of the woman was the widow, or the veuve in French, Clicquot Ponsardin, who was simply an amazing historical figure. She changed the entire landscape of Champagne during her reign over that very, very prestigious house.
Yeah.
And if you ever have the great privilege of going to Champagne, definitely take the tour and ask for the history tour. So we had been to several champagne houses already by the time we got to Veuve, and our very, very charismatic host basically said to us...
Vincent was his name.
Vincent said, I assume you know how champagne is made by now, so I'm not going to give you the winemaking tour, I'm going to give you the history tour. And the history of Veuve Clicquot, whether you love the wine or not, is phenomenal.
So Veuve Clicquot is one of the houses that has the original carrières. So they are the caves that were originally dug by the Romans in around AD 50, between AD 50 and AD 100. And these caves house all the stores of champagne, and there are kilometres upon kilometres.
I think from memory, Veuve Clicquot has 25 kilometres of underground passages, which were originally chalk mines in Gallo-Roman times.
Yeah. And so at Veuve Clicquot, they actually have a statue with John the Baptist. I don't know what that's all about, though.
I have no idea.
Does anyone know about that? They had some sort of statue of John the Baptist. I don't know if he's the patron saint of Champagne or I don't know. Whatevs. I'm thirsty.
Yeah.
Andrew.
We have Tétanger next. As you can see, I have removed the foil from the top. The muselet is still in place. So, to open a bottle of champagne, pull down on the little twist tab. Place your thumb securely over the top and grip the bottle by the neck. It'll be 6 half turns. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Give that a little loosen, but leave it there because it actually gives you some grip on the cork. Without taking your thumb off the cork, grasp it and then give the bottle quarter twists. I don't know if you can hear that. Admittedly, this bottle is warm and just spent a 3-hour trip in the car with me, so it's a little bit problematic, but still not a disaster.
And as you can see, we're drinking out of large wine glass. And the reason why we're doing that is because you can swirl your wine, you can put your schnoz in there, it can fit into the glass, and you can give the wine a good smell and appreciate the complex and amazing aroma. You know, there are no real rules these days when it comes to tasting wine. And, you know, we used to drink wines from, we used to drink champagne from champagne coupes, which were big and round. And weren't the champagne coupes modelled on the breasts of Marie Antoinette.
I believe that's a wise tale, but it's a cool story.
But then we started drinking champagne from flutes, and now we're drinking champagne out of these big wine glasses. And really, who cares? Who cares how you drink champagne so long as you can enjoy it?
I'll toast to that.
Smell and taste. You know, there are very few vices that we have at the winery, and one of them is drinking champagne. We drink a lot of champagne, and I think a lot of winemakers do, and it's because it's one of the most difficult wines to make. It's one of the most industrial wines to make. It's one of the most quality controlled wines to make. It's a great art, but it's also a great science to make particularly non-vintage sparkling wine or non-vintage champagne.
It is the ultimate winemaker's wine.
Okay, are we ready for the rest of trivia?
I believe we're going to do a brief intermission. So if you need to top up your champagne glasses, now is the time to do it. We're going to take 5 and have a quick nibble. And then Glenn will be presenting round 2 general knowledge trivia.
Ooh, sports. I hope you've got some sort of sporting geek on your team.
There's like one sporting question and you are so obsessed with it.
Yeah, but it's because I don't know anything about freaking sport, do I? That's why. It's like Jack has put...
That's why we have teams.
I mean, Jack, why did you put a sporting question in there?
Because you have to.
To please you.
Yeah, just to please me. I mean, you know...
What if you're the person on the team that only knows lots of stuff about sport? This
Well-
is your moment to shine.
You're a loser. Okay?
Actually,
Just
probably in college you were one of the more popular ones.
Yeah, well, maybe. So tonight, we not only have we got this amazing platter to eat. Hey, can we have some live shots happening here? Jack, can we make this live? Can we do the camera thing?
Andy is all over that.
Oh, but Andy's gone. He's gone to the loo. Psst. Put the
Getting the next champagne.
Oh, okay. That is important. Get the next champagne. Let's do live cross again. Okay, there we go. So as you can see, we've got Kay. She's made this amazing platter out there. And it's got all bits and pieces like cheese, meats, blah, blah, blah. But I made some pork rillette, and I'm going to show you what the pork rillette looks like. It is so freaking easy to make. So pork rillette is all about a pate that's not really a pate, and it's not really a terrine either. But hang on, let me see if I can show you what it looks like. Anyway, it looks like brown goop, and it's made out of pork belly. And anyway, it's like slow-cooked pork belly, and you make it with all these spices. It's the easiest freaking thing to make. And then you just do a little bit of a blitz of it. So you don't blitz it too much because you want it to be quite rough and quite coarse in texture. And then what I top it up with is, what I seal the top up with is some duck fat. And we have been eating a little bit of duck lately, so we've been harvesting a lot of duck fat, which is so freaking delicious. So good with potatoes, good with pork rillette. But yeah, it's like the easiest entree thing to make, and maybe I should put the recipe on Soch tomorrow.
Yeah, we can throw it up there. The great thing about things like this is when you cook it so long and so slow, you can't overcook it. So it's actually really hard to stuff up a dish like this. Are you ready to read some questions, Glenn? Okay, I've got champagne ready to go, and I've got a mouth that's full of food. Okay, round 2, general knowledge. Bum 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 bum. Teams, are you ready? Okay. How do I do the oh, okay. Okay, go for it. Question 1. Which country drinks more beer per capita than any other? Ach du Lieber, I wonder which one. Maybe not. Oh. Which country? It's not what you think? Who knows? Who knows? I mean, is it Europe? I mean, you know how the Chinese have stopped barley exports or imports into China? Isn't that all about beer?
Did you think it was the Chinese until they did?
Or could be China. It's all about China these days. All right, next question. What is Australia's fastest growing religion? Ooh. Religion. That's a weird question. Jedi. It could be, actually. Well, we are in a church.
Pretty appropriate question for the church.
Oh my God, that's what it is. It's the WineCult, right?
Exactly.
One of us. One of us. Drink more wine. One of us. Question number 13. Measuring up to a height of 30 meters, in what city would I find the famous Christ the Redeemer statue? Oh man, this is so churchy, these questions. That really big Art Deco kind of one? It's like up on some hill looking over. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Is it next? Is it next to the to that Ferris wheel in Brisbane or something like that? I don't know. Yeah, next to the Brisbane Eye.
Sticking out of the Brisbane River.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like I would have noticed it if it was. Big brown snake.
Question 14. James Raine was the lead singer of which famous rock group? Hey, did he sing that song? Oh, Errol, I will do anything just to be like him. That was him, yeah? Oh, okay. Right. That was the song all about Errol Flynn. And did you realise that Errol Flynn was actually Australian? I did not realise that. Yeah, there you go. That's why that Australian group sung that song. He was Tasmanian. There you go. And he didn't have club feet. Question 15. Go. A squared plus B squared equals C squared is commonly known as what equation or theorem? A squared plus B squared equals C squared. A lot of squares in there for something that has nothing to do with squares. I know, and there are no squares in this church. I mean, I must admit, though, I am a baby boomer. Does that make me a square?
Don't be a square, Glenn.
Don't be a square?
Be a triangle.
Be a triangle? Really?
Make it be more edgy.
A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Question 16. Name this famous artist. And he's from China. And I can't remember his name. I recognise him. He was jailed, yeah? Was he jailed? Or is he under house arrest? Or
Good thing we're playing with clues, hey?
If they need clues, they're getting them.
He looks like a really friendly man. Do we have any of his art to show?
So he's an artist as well.
I think you've given enough away. Yeah,
we need that.
Okay. Question.
See?
Oh, sorry, hang on.
Back, we can't see. Oh.
Okay, can you see the dude now? You're right? Okay. Question 17. Diamonds are an allotrope of which common element? Allotrope. What ends? Is it tokaj? Or tokai? It's like, see, I'm having dental work at the moment and I can't really speak properly, and that's my excuse. Okay, it's a good excuse.
Nothing to do with the several gin and tonics and a couple of glasses of champagne.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, my champagne is really, really getting empty at the moment.
No, it's not.
What have we got next, Andrew? Oh, God, we've got this really cool duplicate of Lanson champagne to try. Woohoo! I'm excited.
3 more questions and I'll tell them all about it.
Okay, question 18. Go. Oh, and we've done this one. What the heck? Oh, here we go. The sports question. In 1968. Who the hell was born in 1968? There are quite a few people in this room that were born in 1968. Tommy Smith famously won the Olympic gold medal in which athletics event? What the hell has this got to do with wine? This is not a... Yeah, drinking... If drinking was an Olympic sport, we could be really good at it. Gold! Yeah, who the hell is Tommy Smith?
That's kind of the question.
Oh, is he Aussie?
No, because there was a historical event that happened at the same time.
1960.
During the medal ceremony.
Okay. Whatevs.
That's a hit.
Okay, so 1968, which...
So,
So 64 was Tokyo. 68 was Mexico City, wasn't it?
no one can hear me. So if you can reiterate the hint.
Oh,
The hint is that there was a really big historical event that happened
okay.
during the medal ceremony of this event.
Okay, apparently some big famous thing happened during the Olympic this ceremony when this dude was given the medal. So I think it was at the Mexico Olympics, wasn't it? The 1968.
There was an Australian on the podium.
Oh, there was an Australian on the podium, apparently. Okay. Oh, did the Australian die or something? Meh. Who knows? Who cares? It's sport. According to official UN figures, what is the world's most populous city? And can I just say, it's not Brisbane, it's not Ballindine. The most populous city. What is the most, according to official UN figures, what is the world's most populous city? Yeah. Population.
So basically, which city in the world has the most people in it, according to the UN?
Or is it in the world? Or yeah.
Yeah, in the world.
Yes.
Just in
Of all the cities that there are, which one is the biggest in terms of people?
Okay, last question. What was the first name of the famous French artist Matisse? Come on.
if you're a lover of LPM,
There you go.
big hint.
If you're a lover of LPM, it's a big hint.
Yes, there was a reason Jack chose this question. I think Ahan knows the answer. He's getting
Yeah.
very excited down there.
Okay, I think that's it. So we're going to recap the questions.
we can do a quick recap of round 2. Off you go.
Which country drinks more beer per capita than any other? Bam, 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 bam. What is Australia's fastest growing religion? I reckon it's the Jedis.
I reckon the census would say Jedi.
Measuring up to a height of 30 metres, in what city would I find the famous Christ the Redeemer statue? Again, a religious question. Amazing. We are in a church, I suppose. James Rain was the lead singer of which famous rock group? Rock group, yes. A squared plus B squared equals C squared is commonly known as what equation / theorem? Who knows? Name this dude. He looks pretty friendly, and I think he paints some pretty interesting stuff.
I'm actually not familiar with his work, but I'm going to have to go Google it after.
Yeah.
After, not now.
But he's from China. Diamonds are an... Can we get the right pronunciation?
Allotrope.
Diamonds are a whatever of which common element? See what you can find from that. In 1968, Tommy Smith famously won the Olympic gold medal in which athletics event? Which I think 1968 was Mexico City.
Maybe.
I think it was.
Maybe.
Okay. According to official UN figures, what is the world's most populous city? So many people.
I can think of a number of contenders, but I actually don't know which one has the most people in it.
Okay.
I'm willing to make a guess.
I'm guessing. Oh,
Sorry,
that's
wrong
18.
way.
Question 20, the last question. What was the first name of the famous French artist Matisse? Ta-da! Done. End of questions. Finalise your answers. And what do we need to do, Jack? We need to get those answers all...
We'll give you the answers first, and then you can mark it at the end.
Oh, okay.
So yes, very shortly we will go through the answers. You can mark them for yourselves. We are going to trust you not to cheat, because at the end of the day, you're only cheating yourself.
No winners for first prize.
Exactly. There's nothing to win from getting the top score. It's all about getting in quickly or being really lucky.
Okay, so...
In the meantime, I've got a couple of cool champagnes to talk about.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Because I'm nearly finished out of with my champagne. And this is the great thing. This is a horrible thing to say, but we do go and buy champagne from Dan Murphy's on certain occasions.
On certain occasions. And this Lanson is a really, really good value little drop. Particularly, it's usually at a good price for members, and will just quietly admit I am a Dan Murphy's member. One of the really cool things about Lanson, and this is the non-vintage Lanson. So this is the one Glenn was referencing before, which is all about the winemaker's skill and all about blending a base wine with many, many, many reserve wines stretching back for potentially decades to try to make a consistent product year in, year out, which for us winemakers who don't make this kind of wine, it's a kind of a mind-boggling feat. It's kind of, I don't even know how you'd start doing it, particularly in a product where it's going to spend several years between when you blend it to when you release it. So you have to have the most amazing skills of prognostication to work out what to make today that's going to look great.
I love that word,
5 years' time.
prognostication.
Just channeling my best Moira.
Okay, awesome.
So,
Can I channel my best, David?
do you have to?
Go.
So, one of the things that they don't often talk about very much in non-vintage champagne is what the base year was. And kind of most houses don't make a point of differentiating one batch or one bottling or what they call one disgorgement from another. One of the cool things about Lanson, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but right down here But there is actually a date of disgorgement printed here. So Lanson have actually made the very bold choice to tell you on the label when this bottle was disgorged. You're the one that wanted me to talk about this.
Okay, keep going.
And one of the cool things about going to Dan Murphy's, particularly if you go to more regional Dan Murphy's, is that they're really bad at stock rotation. So you can actually pick through the shelves and find 2 different bottles that were disgorged at completely different times. So one of these bottles was disgorged in 2014. So that's actually a very old bottle of non-vintage champagne. The other one was disgorged last year. So I have 2 non-vintage champagnes that were actually taken out of Lanson's cellar and received their final cork 5 years apart.
So this means that the older wine has been aging in bottle for all that time. So it should be very, very interesting to see how that wine has developed and what are the differences in bottle characteristics. So yeah, it's very, very interesting. And so when it comes to these regional,
I'm going to pour some. You keep talking.
yeah. So when it comes to these regional Dan Murphys, our favourite regional Dan Murphys, and we're talking about travelling constantly between Ballindine and Brisbane. Our 2 favourite Dan Murphys are the Dan Murphys in Yamanto, and the other one is at Bundamba. Both Dan Murphys are in the city of Ipswich, which is about 40 kilometres outside of Brisbane. And it's very interesting that each Dan Murphy's tends to have the same stock, regardless of where you're at. So if you're in a higher socioeconomic area, you'll have the same stock in that Dan Murphy's shop as you would at a lower socioeconomic area. So places like Bundamba or Yamanto, the big stock that flies out the door of these places are things like Bundaberg rum and a lot of domestic beer, which is okay, but you know, the poor old champagne sits on the shelf, and so therefore you can get these really, really interesting old wines from these remote Dan Murphys. Not only champagne, but you can also get some very, very interesting French, Italian, German wines of very old vintages.
How much are they paying you for this?
No, I know, and they're not paying me anything for this, but I'm just telling you a little secret. So Andrew, this champagne, this is the old one, yeah? Okay, so this was disgorged in 2019. For all intents and purposes, a fresh bottle of champagne. Delicious. And it's got some really sort of interesting cheesy, milky, sort of creamy smells to this wine. We tend to drink more non-vintage champagne here rather than vintage champagne. Vintage champagne is all about a wine that is made by Mother Nature. Non-vintage champagne is all about the winemaking team making the wine. Making a wine that emulates the house style. And so non-vintage champagne is all about making a consistent wine. It's like if you're drinking Moët Chandon, which was made in 1983, it should taste the same and smell the same as a wine, a non-vintage Moët Chandon that was made in 2020. And they get this consistency by making non-vintage champagne, by blending so many old wines together to make a very consistent product. These wines are totally different.
They are totally different, but the amazing thing is, at the same age, they would have looked very similar.
The older wine has this really interesting oyster shell sort of characteristic, and it's got really deep mushroomy, maybe
Vegemite,
it's
yeasty.
really
It's
interesting.
very developed. I much prefer the older one, to be honest.
I much prefer the older one as well because it has this really interesting complexity that you don't often see in non-vintage champagne.
Fascinating.
And this is a really interesting thing about buying champagne from Dan Murphy's.
Regional Dan Murphy's.
I know, it's bizarre, isn't it?
Do your homework, sift through the shelves, and like you have to literally like pull the bottles out and go right to the back. But on this particular occasion, I think there were actually 4 different dates of disgorgement sitting on the shelves. And there's only about 18 bottles. There's like 3 rows of 6 on the shelf. 4 different dates of disgorgement were represented there.
So, all saying that, let me pull out one of the next champagnes that we're about to drink, which we didn't buy from Dan Murphy's.
Will you do that? I'm going to quickly start running through some answers.
All answers.
So, round 1, answers. Here we go. The earliest known evidence of grape wine was found in which modern day country? So Jack has put down China. And we will accept that as an answer, but I have something to add to this story. So Jack has been very diligent, and with his answers, he has provided references to scholarly articles and
Peer-reviewed journal articles, might I add.
However, this particular incident of pottery fragments that were carbon dated to a particular period don't actually show wine. They show that tartaric acid was present. And that could have come from grapes, or it could have come from another plant in this region. But it's unlikely that they contained wine. It's likely that they contained a fermented product of honey and rice, which was flavored with a little bit of fruit. So I'm also going to accept Georgia as an answer to this question because that's what I actually believe the answer to be. Because this product was not really wine. It was more like something between beer and mead. But it may have contained grapes and or hawthorn berries, which all grew in the same region.
So do hawthorn berries have tartaric acid as well?
Yes, and considerably more than grapes.
Oh.
So it's entirely possible that this thing contained honey and mead and hawthorn berries and didn't actually have any grapes in it at all, which would explain tartaric acid on these pottery fragments. But it probably wasn't wine the way we think of wine. It certainly was not made from Vitis vinifera because those grapes didn't exist in this part of the world at the time.
Did they say?
And although half of the grape varieties in the world, half of the grape species in the world are indigenous to China, they probably made pretty bad wine.
Okay. Did it have alcohol?
Yes, it was a fermented product.
Okay. All right.
So
I still think it was Georgia though.
yeah, I'm saying I think Georgia is the correct answer. China was the first fermented product that may have contained grapes, but it probably wasn't wine. Question 2. The méthode champenoise is also known as the méthode traditionnelle or the traditional method. So basically, whenever you have a bottle of wine,
Sparkling wine, that's what I said.
there's lots of sparkling wine that is not méthode champenoise.
Oh.
You know, there's the méthode ancienne and there's the transfer method, and there's Chama. There's lots of different sparkling wines that are not method champenois. But another thing that you may see on a label is secondary fermentation in this bottle. And that is the key of the method champenois.
It's like you say tomato, I say tomato.
Is that the secondary fermentation happens in the same bottle that you drink the wine from, whereas the other methods don't.
See, Kate, you should never listen to me.
Question 3. Bentonite, albumin, and isinglass are used for fining wines. So Glenn was talking before about swim bladders from certain freshwater fish. Albumin, of course, is egg white, and bentonite is a type of clay. And those are all things in a winemaker's toolkit that could be used to make a wine clearer or finer tasting, or in the case of bentonite, possibly more resistant to being left in the back of your car on a hot day, which is not something we love to do to wine, but it's something we do to save punters from themselves.
We hate to do that. I cry when people do that.
We hate to do it, but it's expected. People love to be able to abuse their wine with no repercussions. Question 4. Where in the world would you find the Tokaj region? It is Hungary, and it is the home to one of the most celebrated dessert wines in the world. A incredibly rich, complex, sweet, luscious, intense, botrytis-affected wine. And yeah, it's a little bit of an unsung hero, I think. Sauterne gets all the credit, and ice wine gets a bit too, but Tokaj is really an amazing thing when you get a good bottle of it.
And it gives you an excuse that you need to go to Hungary. I mean, what more of an excuse do you need to have? Oh my God, those baths on, like those steam baths on the River Budapest. No, it's it's the Danube, isn't it? I'm a bit drunk.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, whatever.
Next question. The red grape variety of Burgundy is Pinot Noir. I would hope that a few people out there managed to get this one right.
On that note, what are the major varieties that that winemakers use to make champagne?
You mean what are the legally allowed varieties in Champagne?
What are the main ones and then the legally allowed?
Well, Pinot Noir is one of them. And interestingly, for a wine that is mostly expressed as a white wine, 2 out of these 3 varieties are actually red grapes. So Pinot Noir is a red grape. There is also Meunier, which is another red grape, and then Chardonnay is the white grape to make up the trio. So the Magnum of Pierre Giminet Blanc de Blanc. Blanc de Blanc means white from white. So we know that that is probably 100% Chardonnay. But then there are 4 other little known grape varieties that are allowed in Champagne, although they are not often used. And actually the fantastic rosé that Glenn brought out that we are going to be drinking later tonight is made by a winery called Layet Frère, who have a really, really, really cool vineyard. And they make a champagne called Les Sept. And this vineyard is actually planted with all 7 of the legally permitted varieties in Champagne. So I'll give you all a moment to think about and talk about amongst yourselves what those other 4 varieties may be. Glenn, how many can you name?
I can only name the top 3.
At least one of the others is a common variety.
Is it rosé?
No, it is not.
No, then I don't. Is it Pinot Blanc?
Pinot Blanc?
Oh, I got it right. And that was a guess.
Pinot Gris. I have had once a 100% Pinot Gris champagne. There is another one called Arban, and the final one is called Petit Maillet.
How do you spell it?
Petitmeslier.
Oh
That's
yeah, what about
Burgundy.
Aligoté?
Aligoté is in Burgundy. It's
Oh,
not a
Jack
champagne
is
wine.
stupid. What an idiot, Jack. Shut up, Jack.
And if anyone's watching the chat, Dan Ma has just written them all down for me, except I think you spelled Petit Melier wrong. I don't think there's a U in it. But yes, those four.
And you're not supposed to insult when people blame. It's okay if you make a spelling mistake.
It's all about.
Yeah, it was the autocorrect. Really.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, must be an autocorrect fail.
Next.
Question 6. Average price per bottle of wine exported out of Australia in 2019 was $4 a bottle.
We were wrong. We said $2 a bottle.
Turn it up. What did you say?
So not a terribly high price. Certainly there is a lot of bulk wine that leaves the country that is less than $4 a bottle. Some of it certainly does go to China at $2 a litre, but this is bottled finished wine, presumably with a label on it, that goes out at $4 a bottle.
If you can imagine, a wine bladder in a box, they can actually make those wine bladders as big as a shipping container. How cool is that?
Imagine a goon bag the size of a 40-foot shipping container.
That is just like shocking.
It's a lot of wine.
That's a lot of wine, and it's a lot of really, really cheap, really sort of maybe nasty wine. I don't know.
They certainly do some nasty things to it to make it survive the trip, and then they undo those nasty things when it gets to the other end. Question 7. How many growers are there in Champagne?
Oh my god!
To the nearest 1,000.
Wow.
16,000.
16,000.
No, I did not know the answer.
This is just total growers. It's not just point growers, grower producers, total growers.
Okay.
So the story here is about a thing called Napoleonic succession, where by French law in certain departments of France, when the father dies, his assets are evenly split between all of his siblings. Therefore, if daddy owns a vineyard and has 3 kids, each kid gets 1/3 of the vineyard. And if they all have 2 kids, then each of those gets 1/6 of the vineyard. And every generation, the vineyards just get split and split and split to the point where people literally own like half a row of a vineyard. And this is a large part of the reason that the idea of a co-op is a really big thing in France, because let's face it, no one's going to spend time looking after 20 vines in a vineyard and then make, 20 bottles of wine out of them. So, yeah, there are literally 16,000 growers, and a lot of them will have very, very, very tiny plots of land, and they probably don't actually grow the wine themselves or the grapes themselves. They probably have a cooperative tend their vineyard and take their grapes, and they would be paid in bottles of wine depending on how much they contribute to the co-op. Question 8. Tribudrag
Are you kidding me?
of
Zinfandel?
Croatia
What the hell?
is genetically equivalent to Zinfandel, or I would also accept Primitivo, because
Jack.
Zinfandel and Primitivo are also genetically
That question
equivalent.
was rubbish, can I just say? It has nothing to do with champagne. I was thinking it was either going to be Chardonnay or Pinot.
Did you not do a vintage in California?
I did do a vintage in California, but that's beside the
Also,
point.
it wasn't.
You should have known the answer.
Nah. Yeah, nah.
Zinfandel or Primitivo, same thing. Question 9. Where does Malbec come from? Well, where is it mostly produced? Is in Argentina. Argentinian Malbec is an international style in its own right. And Argentina grows 3/4 of the world's Malbec.
So where does Malbec originally come from, Andrew?
Well, the famous Malbec comes from France, just south of Bordeaux, in a place called Cahors. And it makes the famous black wines of Cahors.
Cahors.
That's the one. South of Bordeaux. And question 10, the last wine question for round 1. By volume, which 3 countries make up half of the world's wine production? It is Italy, Spain, and France.
If you only get 2 out of 3, you can have half.
Jack will give you half a point for 2 out of 3, because 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Exactly, Andy.
And Italy, Spain, and France are the 3 individually largest wine producing countries in the world. And year by year, they tend to swap positions. So in any given year, one of them may or may not be the top, but they are certainly always the big 3. And they are miles ahead of number 4, who I can't remember who that is. It might be Germany.
United States.
US.
Is it? US.
Okay, Jack has Google out. It's the US is number 4.
Shut the freak.
Maybe not this year.
But China's up there as well, isn't it?
China's growing.
I think China's 5th. I would dare say China is 5th.
We'll do some Googling.
All right. Okay. Question 11.
Well, that brings us to the end of round 1 answers. Are you ready to dive into round 2?
Yeah, I am, but...
You start reading some answers, I'll get you some champagne.
Okay. Okay. Whatever. Round 2. Which country drinks more beer per capita than any other? And that is the Czech Republic. What the hell is that all about? Where is Jan when we need him? The Czech Republic. Meh. Who would have guessed? But I always like a country with a Z in its name. Question 12. What is Australia's fastest growing religion? Hinduism. Papa. Chani. Hinduism. Thank you. There you go. Hinduism. I would have said Jediism, but anyway. No, or paganism or whatever. Anyway.
Obviously, the WineCult has work to do.
The WineCult has a lot of work to do. Next question. Measuring up to a height of 30 metres, in what city would I find the famous Christ the Redeemer statue? Not Brisbane, not Cairns, but Rio de Janeiro. No, not Atlantis. Question 14. James Rain was the lead singer of which famous rock group? Australian Crawl. Oh, Errol, I will give anything just to be like him. Okay, question 15. A squared plus b squared equals c squared is commonly known as what equation or theorem? The Pythagorean. Shut up. It's my teeth. Pythagorean equation.
Well, Glenn,
Yeah, it's...
tell them we'll also accept the Pythagoras' equation or Pythagoras.
Oh, there you go. Pythagoras' equation or Pythagorean.
You said Pythagoras.
Yeah, okay, so you have to mention Pythagoras in your answer and it will be accepted. Yeah, whatevs. Thanks, Jack. Question 16. Name this famous artist, Ai Weiwei. Ai Weiwei. And I feel a little bit ripped off that we don't have any of his beautiful art to show people. But anyway, I think is Ai Weiwei under house arrest at the moment?
No, he lives in exile in Germany.
Oh, there you go. He lives in exile in Germany at the moment. Okay. Ai Weiwei. Question 17. Diamonds are an
Allotrope.
thank you, Jack. Allotrope of which common element? Did you see that? It's carbon. Question 18. In 1968, Tommy Smith famously won the Olympic gold medal in which athletics event? The 200-meter sprint. He was the first person to officially break the 20-second barrier with a time of 19.83 seconds. Jack, is this Tommy Smith? What nationality is he?
US.
Oh, there you go. USA. He was from the US. No, he wasn't Chinese. And the 1968 Olympics, I think, was in Tokyo. Do we agree that it was in Tokyo? Not Tokyo, sorry. Mexico. 1964 was Tokyo.
We'll table that and get back to you.
Okay. And next year it's going to be Tokyo as well. Let's hope. Fingers crossed. COVID safe crossed. 19. According to the official UN figures, what is the world's most populous city? Tokyo. There you go. Not Delhi. Not Cairo. 38 million people. There you go. People, you have heard this.
That's a lot more than Ballindine.
That's a lot more than Ballindine. 150, I think, is in Ballindine.
People.
Maybe there's more cats in Ballindine than there are people. What was the first name of the famous French artist Matisse? Henri. And Henri is our little mascot who's sitting by the piano at the moment, about to tinkle the ivories. There you go. Ta-da, that's it.
That is it.
That's it. Can we...
End of answers. More prizes.
Ooh.
So, we've done the bonus question. We have a winner for the Magnum of Pierre Giminet Blanc de Blanc.
Yep.
But if you would like to submit your team name, and these are really important, and your score to @LPM Wine, we just wanted to keep that separate from the answers for the bonus question. So separate Instagram account, message them to LPM Wine. The first message through gets a free t-shirt. So do it now. Quickly. We will also randomly choose a team to get the door prize. So the lucky door prize.
It'll be a fair draw out of a hat. We'll make it fair.
It will be done out of a hat, completely at random. Jack will have a blindfold on, etc., etc. And we will be doing that in exactly 30 minutes' time. So
therefore...
right now in Brisbane, it is 7:51, which means in Sydney and the rest of the East Coast, it is 8:51.
So Jack may not be blindfolded, but he may be blind because I think he's drinking as much champagne as we are as well.
And we have a couple more to go.
Yeah. Ta-da. Can we just get the video on again, Andrew, and we'll show you our next champagne that we're about to open. So to prove that we don't just go to Dan Murphy's to buy our champagne, this is our next champagne that we're about to drink. This is a rosé, and it's a Le Hair Frère rosé. So this is a grower's rosé. This is a very, I suppose, quite rare in Australia, or it's not often seen in Australia.
They're kind of an up-and-coming house. We were lucky enough to do a wine dinner.
That's right.
A few months ago with Aurélien Layet, who is kind of the son of the family. And they're a winery and a grower that is starting to make a name for themselves. So this is definitely a label to watch out for. It's a beautiful, beautiful label. And yeah, just making some really cool, interesting, and something which is quite rare in Champagne is pioneering styles of wine.
Yeah. And this wine we bought from an independent seller, and I'm going to now tell you which seller that we bought this from. We bought it from Harps, didn't we? Yeah.
Craft.
So from Craft. So from Craft in Red Hill in Brisbane, but they also have an outlet in Coorparoo. And this is the great thing about supporting local and independent wine sellers, is that they get these really interesting, unusual, small producer wines that are a great delight to drink.
Absolutely.
So,
We will be drinking it very soon. So I suppose that wraps up our evening.
Yep. So here's me from double fisting with Lanson Old, Lanson New, ready to go to the La Frere. And we've got a couple of other champagnes ready to go in the fridge.
And equally importantly, what are we eating tonight?
Tonight we're eating coq au vin. Tonight.
Oh, how very French.
Mais bien sûr. Très français. D'accord. Good night, everyone. Good morning, Dan in London. We'll see you next year. Let's hope that 2021 is going to be a better year. 2020, let's say goodbye to it. It's like I'm over 2020.
I'll drink to that.
That's, yeah. Hopefully we'll see you guys in 2021.
It's really rude